The following is a production of the University of Minnesota.
What do you think higher education will look like in 20 years? What do you hope it looks like? What comes to mind when you hear the words innovative higher education? These are just a few of the questions that a group of Jandras Center scholars asked policymakers, policy position advocates, and other key stakeholders during an afternoon at the Minnesota State Fair. This video represents a few of the many diverse perspectives that we heard.
In 20 years, maybe it's more accessible for everyone. Not necessarily you can go to this awesome school because you're smart, but you have to pay so much money. That there are people that live in poor environments or don't have the money to go to these amazing colleges and have such successful futures because they're limited by how much money they have. I don't think that's always fair.
The rate of change in our society is steadily going up, and people are not going to be able to work the same job for 30 years because the same job will not necessarily be there for 30 years. So they have to be prepared to learn more and be prepared to change through education.
When we did invest in young people, they tended to stay in Minnesota and they tended to develop our economy and do good things for the state. And if we have that, if we can get that attitude again or that idea again, we'll probably do well and we'll probably invest in those students and they will reinvigorate our economy and we'll attract good jobs and we'll have a better future.
I'm thinking for you, I'm hoping it will be diverse. I'm hoping there will be opportunities for, outside of the box thinking, outside of just being a doctor, more like research and how you can connect research with, acting in communities and
before. Obviously, the definition of innovation, trying new things. In education these days, a lot of that has to do with technology. A lot of that has to do with how we teach kids and how we reach kids. A lot of it has to do with the calendar, believe it or not. Our education system is based on an agrarian economy where all the kids took off in the summer because they had to go help on the farm. There's no air conditioning, so we still have this mindset of a 9-month calendar, where here we are in Labor Day weekend and we're sending kids back to school mostly on Tuesday. So I think we have to think innovatively about the calendar and how long we have kids during the day and throughout the year.
I think it's going to take a lot of courage to get to innovation, as we really need to, because as everybody knows, the state budgets are, there isn't going to be a lot of public money for higher education. Parents and families are pretty much maxed out in terms of what they can pay, what they can borrow, what they should borrow. So I think the innovation is going to have to come from some people having the courage to start over, tear down some things, rebuild some things, and use technology whenever and wherever we can to really figure out what we need and what we don't need and look at what the workforce needs are and go from there.
Well, I just think of knowledge being something that isn't a scarce resource, it's something that multiplies itself. So I guess innovation in higher education is just using collaboration to just really expand what we're doing. Let's think outside the box. Let's not just be in the classroom. Let's not just be online, but let's go and use different resources from people in all different fields to learn more and just kind of build that knowledge piece.
I think global classrooms. So I think now, individuals study abroad or they may have texts that come from different places, but truly having a global classroom where your peers are in China and Switzerland and Zimbabwe and you're all working on a project together.
I don't think it's just technology. It doesn't just mean new. It means recycling what we have or find different ways to use what we have. So instead of being a wasteful resources just to use and get new all the time, we are learning that we need to recreate and reuse what we have to come up with the same results as getting new. So I think innovation is just reusing the resources.
Thank you.